Good morning. It's another beautiful day in Winter Park. I want to take a minute to thank Ann Mooney and the Winter Park Boys for letting me spend a few minutes to introduce myself to you for the Winter Park City Commissioner race for Seat 1. If we haven't met, my name's Wes Naylor, and I'm a 28-year veteran of the United States Navy, where I was an aviator and a businessman for the Navy, and served my country here and overseas, and had a wonderful time serving my country in that way. I'm also a father, a businessman, and someone who is truly concerned about Winter Park's future. Now, some people may know me as the past commanding officer of the Naval Air Warfare Center Training System Division. And in that job, I did two big things for the Navy. First, I acted as the base commanding officer. And in that role, it functions pretty much like a city manager. I was responsible for running a 30-person Department of Defense police force, and also responsible for the safety and security of all the personnel on our 1,200-person staff. Now, to get that done, we had to work with a lot of local, state, and federal agencies. And I was responsible for coordinating with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, with the Orange County Fire and Rescue, with UCF Police, and state and federal law enforcement agencies to make sure we provided the right level of security and service to our people. The other big part of my job was I was the commanding officer of the research center there. And in that job, I was tasked to look with my staff 20 or 30 years into the future to figure out how we were going to be able to train tomorrow's sailors with tomorrow's technologies to enable their performance to be even better when serving our nation. Now, as we look at the Winter Park City Commission race, I think those are really good skill sets to bring to the commission. One, I can help envisioning long-term the needs that we need to face both in the fields of law enforcement, growth and development, traffic, and where we should be going as a community. My top issues for this campaign are crime, taxes, and development. On the crime issue, we've been seeing an alarming growth of property crime here in Winter Park. And it's not something that we like to talk about, but it's something that we have to talk about. Now, we've got a new police chief, which is a really good time for us to re-examine what the needs of our city are and what the needs of our department are in order to provide the level of safety that Winter Park is used to having. Primarily, we need to get to a place where folks don't think it's okay to drive onto Park Avenue on a Friday afternoon and rob the SunTrust Bank, or to commit a heinous act right here in Central Park. To do that, I think we really need to increase the presence of our police officers on the street. Because when you see cops on the street, you don't come there to cause trouble. It's a pretty simple equation. I think Chief Deal is doing a wonderful job for us, and he's doing the right things as a new executive. He's taking the pulse of the department, the pulse of the community, and when he comes to us with his recommendations as to what he needs in the field of staffing and how those people are employed in his department, technology, and how we can use that to involve the citizens of Winter Park more closely in our crime-fighting efforts, and additional technology to make his officers more effective, then it's our job on the City Commission to resource that as appropriate. Secondly, taxes are a big issue. Now, I'm careful with my money, I'm sure you're careful with your money, and I'm sure you want your government to be careful with your money. As we look at where the city sits financially, it's in very solid shape. And we certainly do not need a tax increase. I think the past 2 years, my opponent has proposed a 0.5 mil and 1 mil tax increase, and our financial situation just doesn't require that at this time. Finally, I think we're all concerned about growth and development and the effect on traffic. I have a 10-and-a-half-year-old daughter, and the primary reason I thought about running was I want her to have the same kind of experience I had growing up in a town just like Winter Park. Winter Park is a truly special place, and we need to work with our developers and our citizens and our real estate people and our businesses. Everyone has to have a seat at the table because there's a lot of culture, a lot of heritage that we need to preserve, and we can do that best together. Finally, I'd like to ask all of us to raise the level of civic discourse. I truly believe we can disagree without being disagreeable, and we can be polite and professional at the same time. I'd like to ask you for your vote on March 14th, and thank you again to Ann Mooney and the Winter Park Boys for making this opportunity available.